Hello, welcome to Moments with FCBA, a platform where we have real life conversations, real and honest conversations about faith, lifestyle, purpose, womanhood, and family. And today is no exception because I have with me a beautiful woman, a woman of purpose, someone who has inspired many people and is still shaping lives even till today. And before I introduce my guest today, I remain your amazing host, Anuluwa Kolaiton, also known as FCBA, meaning the light of God. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, that I have with me on the show today an amazing woman, someone whose life is truly inspiring many, even till date, and of course forever. She's not just a woman, she's a woman of purpose. She's a wife, a mother, a leader, a mentor. Of course, she's a pharmacist, she's a counselor, and then she's still doing so many things that even I myself, I am not able to say right now at the moment. And she will do justice to that by the time I introduce her. Welcome with me, Dr. Mrs. Bumi Olaseyinde.
Thank you very much for having me. Yes. I'm a teddy bear. I hope you don't mind the hot.
I don't mind. I like the vibe. Oh, welcome to the show, Mike. In fact, I'm feeling relaxed already on my own show. How are you, ma?
I'm good.
How do you feel being on Moments with FCBA?
Yes, I feel so elated. When I got the invite, I was like, wow, I've gone viral.
That's good. That's a good vibe that I'm getting already. And can you briefly introduce yourself to us, ma?
All right. Hello, viewers. I'm Olaseyinde Olumpumi. As she said, I'm a pharmacist by training. I redirected into counseling after a couple of years, so discovering my purpose. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm a child of God. That's very important. I need to say that.
I'm very important. Wow, thank you very much for that beautiful, even though it's short, because I know you're more than that, all encapsulated into what you have just introduced to us. And I'm personally happy, and I'm sure that our viewers are also happy to have you on the show. And of course, let's dive into the essence of the show. You know, when you were introducing yourself, you said you redirected into counseling when you found purpose.
Yes.
And purpose discovery is one of the reasons for this particular episode. And before we go into what's purpose or what drove you into this purpose that you are fulfilling now, for those meeting you for the first time, who do you think, you're Dr. Mrs. So there are two titles, Dr. Mrs. Should we put pharmacist to be the third one or cancer? So beyond all of these titles, who are you?
First, I'm Bumi, and this is who Bumi looks like. Bumi has always been a dreamer. She has always had fantasies from childhood who she wants to be. I've always loved a good life. I've always loved a beautiful life. And in the course of my journey, of course, living on earth, you will have a mix of both. You would have the good parts, you will have the parts you would rather wish away, but it's part of process. Over the years, I have been shaped to realize that what matters most is finding God's purpose. And that's really just what I want to do. That's really who I am. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much for that. When it comes to purpose, thank God this is a student environment. And I was speaking to a young man just a few days ago, and he's having a battle with purpose. And that's because his mom wants him to be this, his dad wants him to be this, and he wants to be this. So he's caught in between, and he's beginning to cloud his heart, beginning to cloud his thoughts. And of course, he can't even fund himself at the moment. And he's just turning between two important people in his life, wanting to define his future, whereas he knows what he wants to be, what he has dreamt of, what he's seeing himself to be in the nearest future. So, talking about that, what does purpose mean to you?
Purpose, in its essence, is a journey. But it begins with contemplations in your heart about who you were made to be. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 just places everything in perspective. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. You don't create something and thereafter call a board meeting and ask, what is the purpose of this thing? That's counterintuitive. The beginning of every creation is a conceptualization of the idea. And that's really what purpose is. The question, what purpose simply put means, is what was God thinking when he made you? And you see, God is so faithful. In the course of your journey in life, pictures and images of who you were meant to be, we keep flashing through your mind. We extend grace to parents because many times they all really just wish us well. But oftentimes we are limited in our scope of what success is. No one is truly successful unless you fulfill the purpose for which you were created. You will never really be happy outside of purpose.
Yeah.
I fall into that category of children who studied a course that was not my first choice. As beautiful, I have a PhD in pharmacy. Think about it.
Wow.
I'm more with me. For our viewers, I read my books. But I knew all along there was something more. And after some years of working in the profession, working as a lecturer for 13 years, I knew I had to find my path in life. And I would say to that young man, the conversation calls for much more than just a summary solution. We need to unpack what the issues are and actually understand, who are you? Who are you? And if we need to engage in conversations with the parents, fine. If he needs to moonlight in another direction while he is still doing what his parents want him to do, because we can't remove the reality of the fact that your parents are responsible for your welfare, your upkeep, and as long as they keep paying the bills, they will keep calling the shots.
Right.
You want to be wise about that as a child. So it's a conversation that we sit and unpack the issues, and based on its merit, we look for solutions to ensure he will still be happy. He will fulfill his purpose. So that's really what purpose is. Purpose is something you will eventually, it shows up like a thought, like a picture. I believe a lot in childhood dreams. Childhood dreams that are innocent, that are void of competition, void of selfish ambition. Many times our dreams, our hopes are hidden in those things of what you really are, of what you really want to become. So I think that's why, if you ask me, that's what purpose really is about.
Wow, thank you very much for that beautiful enlightenment that you just gave us. And I'm sure if he is seeing this, or if there are people in his shoes that are seeing this video, this show at this moment, I'm sure they would quite flash back to something that gives them a sense of fulfillment.
Yes.
Because I also believe that if you're not feeling a sense of fulfillment, there is a sense of it cannot be fully explained, but there is a way you will feel when you are fulfilled, irrespective of whatever line you fall in. And honestly, I can resonate so well with what you said, because for me, my mom really wanted me to study medicine and be a medical doctor.
Dr. Mrs.
Of course, I'm going to get a PhD to that effect. That doctor must appear on my name.
No, it's important.
It's very important.
It feels good when you get someone, they say doctor.
Exactly. And they say, Dr. No, you say, oh, good. It's very important. And then, at some point, and of course, I tried JAMB a few times and I just did not get medicine. And I got to a point and I said, see, this that I'm doing, I like it. Say, don't worry, when you graduate. I said, I'm not doing it.
I'm not going back.
I'm not going back. I saw what these guys are doing. I saw cadaver like this. I ran for my life. I said, I'm not interested. Of course, I work in the hospital environment and I am still not interested, because you will know that if I actually had a passion for the fact that I am within the environment, it will spur up something in me. It's not stirring up.
Let me share this joke with you. I'm married to a professor and he's a researcher. So you know who I'm talking about. He churns out papers like he's on steroids.
Yeah.
When he comes back home and tells me he has published a paper, in my head I'm like, Good luck for you. There was a time when I was in the academia, he's like, I used to do something like that. Oh, yeah, you don't understand.
It's not something
my heart is not here.
Exactly.
I want to interact with people. I want to help people.
Right.
I want to help them navigate through life. And maybe that was what made me last that long in academia, because beyond just the teaching I was able to meet students face to face. For some reason, they knew there was more to this woman than just being a lecturer in pharmacy.
Right.
So after classes, you see them come into my office to ask questions that were not pharmaceutical in orientation. I'm like, why are you coming to me? We know you can help us, ma.
Wow. Actually, that's very correct, and that's very apt. And it is something that I really wish parents that are raising this generation of young minds could just let them be what they want to be and not force them. I've seen people struggle through medical school, and I can tell you that it's not until you study medicine before you can be somebody in life.
Yes, I had my youth service with a guy who was a medical doctor at the health center, OAU Health Center here, who was studying for a financial analyst exam.
Okay.
When he finished his youth service, he moved to a bank. Yes, a first degree doctor. He did not practice one. After that youth service, he didn't practice afterwards.
Wow.
I guess many parents are just afraid, really, they're afraid their children won't do well by the standards of the community or the society.
Then there is this thing that comes with, mommy lawyer, daddy doctor. Everybody wants to be. They don't even want to. I remember a joke I read online sometimes ago, and the girl had been trying to gain admission into the university, and then along the line fell sick and called the parents that, oh, hello, I'm on admission. No. I said, oh, you've gained admission. Thank God.
Goodness.
I said, no. I said, okay, what course are you asked to study? Oh, I'm on admission. They're treating me for malaria. I said, keep studying that malaria.
Oh my God. Goodness.
And then, all in the name
Really?
Of course, I don't know if it's a real story, but for you to know how desperate some parents are for their what. Of course, we know even people. There's a popular musician who studied law to satisfy his father, and he's still doing his music.
Yes,
studying
music. Yes,
so many cases like that. And there's something that people think, purpose. They will just find purpose and they will pick up purpose. So do you think people would find purpose, or purpose is actually waiting for them to find them and then take action?
So this is a very, very important question, and it's a good thing we just hit it on the nail. How do you say it in English?
Hit the nail on the head.
Hit the nail on the head.
Yes, ma'am.
Truth be told, an average human being on the face of the earth will not locate purpose unless they locate God first.
Okay.
And it's not just about being religious here. The one who made you is the one who can introduce you to you.
Yeah.
So if you want to know about yourself, it begins with locating the one who created you. Sometimes last year we ran a conversation like this, for young people. It begins with the one who made you. Now, two things would help you locate purpose as you begin to walk with God. Number one is growth. There is insight that comes just because you're growing. When we were younger, as children, I have my younger brother back then asked unbelievable questions, like going to my mom asking, "Mommy, where did the tongue come from?" It's because you are in primary school. By the time you are done with integrated science secondary school, you will know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
So growth brings insight, knowledge. There are things you will just know with growth.
Yeah.
And for everybody on earth, that's the journey you would walk through. A journey of self-discovery. But you will never fully be able to discover who you are until you find the one who made you. This is not a religious meme. It's just what it is. Until you find him, you cannot. If you stumble into purpose, chances are that you might stumble out. People who find themselves, and that's the exception, who find themselves, just launching into purpose, usually are under a lot of prophetic pressure. We're talking of people like presidents of countries, like a Cyrus who did not know anything about purpose, but every step he took in life was taking him to be the next king of Babylon who will set Israel free.
Yeah.
And even then, there is a downside to it. If the person isn't aware of God's purpose, aware of a God of purpose, such an individual will walk blind through things, would not be as intentional or as he or she is expected to be through that process. So knowing God is number one. And as you grow in God, insight and understanding would come. I would give a short example of my humble self. Back then, I loved singing. I still love to sing. And if anyone had told me, that I would find myself working as a mentor, as a counselor, I would say, no. If you see me with a microphone, I just want to sing. Okay? But I think the closest clue I ever had to this was my older brother telling me back then that you raise men. I never saw it. I was shy, I was timid, that's why you can't just feel your way through life.
Right.
I had every reason to think it was not for me. But as I advanced through life began to introduce itself as God took advantage of situations. God showed me, this is who I called you to be. You have been called to raise men indeed. Today, I'll tell you, I do more. If you sing with the microphone, I'm teaching, I'm counseling, I'm mentoring, more than I'm even singing.
Wow.
The other thing that brings us into purpose is encounters. And that is on the bill of God's mercy. He's the one that's a prerogative of God. So you see people like Moses in the Bible, God stops them in midway of their journey and tells them, this is what I've called you to be.
Right.
That's a prerogative of God. You can't force God to do that to everybody. That's the truth.
Yeah.
There are people who will never have a spectacular experience to know that this is what they were called to be. They only just need to understand that as you grow in life, accessing the right knowledge, you will begin to understand why God made you and who God made you to
be. Thank you very much, ma'am. One thing about Moments with Epsiba is that we also talk about womanhood. And one mistake that many women have made is that their purpose ends in their husband's house. Where we were pastoring before, I had to tell them that after school doesn't mean that you have to, after school is marriage. There is more to you.
Yes.
Marriage is not the end of your destiny. It's all the fulfillment of your purpose. And that is why when many women haven't found purpose before going into marriage, there is tendency that they will be lost in the process.
Very true.
So now this brings me to the question, how do you balance it? Wifing, mothering, being a pastor's wife, counseling. How do you balance career, home, and all of the many things that you do without losing yourself in the midst of it?
Beautiful question, Hepzibah. This is a beautiful question.
Yeah.
I would love to start using my humble self as an example, not just because it's this, I'm not saying it's a template, but I found it to be true in many older women. As a matter of fact, we were encouraged to walk in those steps and we later understood, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Now, every human being sent to the earth has a purpose. Male or female alike. We're created in the image of God.
Right.
And that about just settles the issue of everyone has an assignment, a purpose. However, the moment you decide as a lady that you want to get married, you would need the wisdom of God to navigate your purpose within the structure of marriage. It does not end your purpose. That's the error many commit. And I think for like the conversation I was having with my beloved sister just before, we came in for this session, there is trauma that has been transferred through generations. That marriage for a woman is self-martyrdom. Like you just go silent the moment you get married.
Right.
No. Maybe what people have called silence was actually a season of your life where you have this, I'm at that place now where I feel ready to fly. Why? My children, the last of them is writing NECO.
Exactly.
So after this season, I can get up. If you want to send me to Bangladesh, I'm ready. Before now, I couldn't move around freely because I had that. That does not mean my purpose has been silent.
Even in that moment, even in that phase, we're not just sitting down.
Yes. you are preparing and you are taking advantage of the opportunities around us. There are many ladies, for example, the moment they get married, start having children, they feel so overwhelmed. They don't come to church programs. They don't attend conferences. They don't, because it is when you see ladies like yourself who are doing things, who are living out your dream, then it becomes easy for you to the possibilities rather become obvious to you that, okay, in spite of my schedule, I can do this. For example, I was raised by a mentor and I'm still being raised by her, who with 4 children, she's running ministry. Loud and sound.
Oh.
So by the time you see her, you know in your heart you have no excuse. Something tells you you will need to stretch a little bit more. And then having to navigate the different I won't call them barriers, obstacles that you meet in marriage. I call them obstacles not because they are obstacles. They are obstacles because many women do not know how to figure it out. For example, how do you deal with submission? Vis-a-vis becoming everything you should be.
Right.
You know, it's as though an average woman is made to choose one. Like you either choose a good marriage or you choose a good career. You can't have both in a plate. There is the wisdom of God to teach. And I believe a lot in mentoring, because for me, mentoring saved me. Saved me from making landmark mistakes. That's the truth. I was able to navigate that season of my life. And by the grace of God, I think I'm not doing badly.
Wow. Yeah, yes. You're not
doing destiny, doing family, and yet before I came here, I don't cook before coming.
Exactly.
It's just and everybody is fine. I'm not talking of the kind of food that they'll finish and you're like, if you're not careful, you may not find anything to eat because mommy's food is sweet. Well, those are the things we were taught.
Yes, ma.
Those are the things we were taught. We were taught to look good. We were taught to take care of your health.
Very important. I cannot overemphasize it as women. I don't know,
to look like a problem just because you are married. No, you're supposed to take care of yourself.
Homes, you'll be wondering what's happening here. So you won't sit down, you won't be comfortable.
I'm telling you, many ladies lack that they don't see that possibility, because what has been handed down is this season of your life has to be messy for as long as it gets.
I don't believe so, honestly.
It's not so, but unless you are taught, unless you are exposed to the right company, there is a tendency to just sit there. And for many, that's the silence of purpose.
That's the silence of purpose.
Yes.
You know, saying that's the silence of purpose can eventually lead to bitterness.
Thank you.
Towards the end of one's life.
Yes.
Because the children, the family you're holding on to and then forgetting yourself in it, these children will leave.
Yes.
They will grow up and find their own faith. Then what happens to you?
So thank you so much for that remark. So at the end of the day, you find older women, not all, of course.
Of course.
Right, but you find older women who, at the latter part of their lives, what they are doing is reflecting that bitterness on the next generation.
Right.
As a form of advice. As a form of, you just do what you need. No, she's broken, but she can't even figure her way out. And from that, she has built, or rather, she has drawn a portrait of womanhood, that tells her, this is your lot as a woman. You hand that over. I'm grateful somehow I'm grateful for Gen Z. They don't take no for an answer. Not like they are perfect. They have their own shenanigans. I have two at home.
Right.
But the fact remains that they don't take no for an answer.
And they will ask you questions.
Yes, they will challenge the status quo.
Exactly. They will want you to answer. Unlike the millennium that would just say, once you say anything, instead of just arguing it out of respect, just keep quiet.
Just keep quiet.
But this one's won't.
Silent. Yes, they won't.
They won't.
They won't. And they won't. And they are challenging the status quo has really helped for us, because it's made older women even look for answers. For example, I was having a conversation with someone recently. I was like, that portrait of a woman with a rose and a pink dress is false. That's not the real portrait of a woman. The more appropriate portrait of a woman is a woman with 10 hands and holding a sword. Because at the end of the day, that is really who you are.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful, all well made up, you look good, everything is in place, but you are a warrior. You're a warrior spiritually. You are a warrior at your workplace. You're able to do that flower thing. They should.
Right. We talked about Gen Z, and of course, they are the upcoming generation already. And Is there anything that concerns you about the Gen Zs?
Yeah, so I was thinking about it as I drove down here. Gen Zs, I love them because their hearts are like a board you can still write on. They are open to learning, no doubt about it. But I also feel for them because it looks to me like their generation seems to be starting the civilization from the scratch. Why? The older generations, for the most part, have not done the job perfectly of a handover. So some of the things that you see the Gen Z do, and you are asking, why are you doing this? Are you okay? The guy is really like someone in the Stone Age trying to feel his way around because they don't know the standards anymore. We don't even have the time to unpack this. But in this time bubble, we have about 4 different generations. Courtesy of immunization. Immunization has preserved the lives of many people. Medicine, advances in medicine, people are healthier for longer. So you have the baby boomers, you have the Gen X. I am Gen X. You have the millennials, then you have the Gen Z. The baby boomers, the portrait of success for them is marriage.
Yes.
The portrait of success for Gen X is work. The portrait for success for the millennial is work plus ambition.
Ambition, yeah.
Plus poor relationships.
Very poor.
Which didn't start with them. It started, the problem, there were rifts in the landscape already after the Second World War. When, in an attempt to build our communities all over again, people began to leave home to go to work. So success became described, so to speak, as you having a job rather than having a good home. So the rifts were already in the landscape. By the time we get to Gen X, you see us, our parents getting jobs, getting grandma to come and sit with us, and they travel out. So many of us grew up not understanding family relationships. By the time we get to the millennials, that was why by the time the millennials kicked in, we noticed a spike in divorce rates. They couldn't handle relationships. Now, Gen Z is born into that. What do we expect? It's like starting from the scratch. Many times I feel we need to apologize to them. We owe them a lot. Rather than scream at them, yell at them, and tell them, you people are irresponsible. You don't know what you are doing. Why not sit them down and teach? I know what I face when I'm mentoring. Some basic things they don't know. The other day I had to chase 2 girls out of church. Say we came to church to read, and their brothers in church. Are you okay? Get to read. What kind of reading are you reading, brothers and sisters? This person is not your blood brother, not your family member, and then you are sleeping in the same church. God forbid. What if anything goes wrong?
What if, actually?
I had to chase sense. You don't know the law of decency. Some of them that walk around naked, they don't know. They just feel, hey, is it bad?
Anything wrong with it?
Hey, like, it's not bad. Come here. Come here. Let me take care of you. You have to teach like the nitty-gritty of living life on earth, living long enough to fulfill your purpose.
Fulfill your purpose. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you for shedding so much light to this. And I must say that whoever is watching this podcast, watching this particular show, has learned not just one, not just two, but a lot from you, because of course we could go on and on learning from your wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience. And before we come to the end of this show, I would want to ask that if you were to say something to your younger self, what would it be?
Beautiful. And I'm saying it not just in the studio. I'm saying it to myself in real time, real life, okay? And that is be bolder, step out.
Be bold and step out.
Yes. Maybe if I had done this much earlier, I would have moved faster. Yes, be bold. I'd always had these dreams. But be bold, step out.
Step out.
Don't be afraid. Step out.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you for being a part of this show today. And I must say that I have learned a lot. If I have not learned anything, I'm going to step out even more. I think I've stepped out already.
Yes,
I think
you
I'm
have.
beginning to step out even. I need to step further out there and be bold and audacious about the things that I know, that I understand, and I know that can work for me and for the generation that looks up to me. And if you are watching this podcast at the moment and you have been shy, you have been feeling inferior, maybe something has been said to you that has sort of brought down your self-esteem, or maybe you feel you are not enough. Watching this shows that God created you for a purpose. And if you think everyone has forgotten you, I am glad to tell you that God has written your name on the palm of his hands. And if your name is on the palm of his hands, that means that if man forgets you, God can never forget you. So step out, be bolder, and find your purpose in this season. Thank you for being a part of this show. Thank you very much, Ma, once again.
Thank you.
Of course,
so
I would love
much.
to give you.
Now you know me better.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
Ma. All right, so we have come to the end of today's episode of Moments with FCBA. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section, and of course the Gmail address will be displayed on the screen. If you have questions, if you have suggestions, if you have something you want to share with us or you want us to talk about on the show, of course it will be gladly welcomed. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell another friend that Moments with FCBA has come to stay. Bye for now.